Hi, it's Marissa, MKissa Creations, and it's time for another Flosstube video. It's been 2 weeks since I've seen you last. My name is Marissa. This is MKissa Creations here on YouTube, and on Instagram you can find me under MKissa Creations as well. This is a Flosstube video. It is about cross stitch, and Flosstube is our little corner of YouTube where we talk about cross stitch. I have a lot of cross stitch to talk to you about today. So it is the first week of December. I thought I was going to be coming back to you after Jingle Ball, but I did math wrong. So here I am. It is Wednesday, and I am here to show you how I closed out November. And I am here to show you December plans and talk to you a little bit about what I've done. I've got a new start. I made progress on quite a few projects, and I have my giveaway winner. So let's start with our giveaway, which is a Pass the Stash. It was for Bent Creek, the black cat, and I had you use the word bent in your comment if you wanted to win this. And I will put my random YouTube comment picker result right there, but congratulations, Wild Fox Stitchery. She is a new Flosstuber that I've just found, and I think maybe a new subscriber here as well. She does a lot of full coverage stitching and has a lot of projects going, and is very entertaining to watch. And she also has a stitchy game that she's created recently. So check her out if you are looking for a new stitchy game to play. Welcome to the brightness after a snow day in Maine. I definitely have a lot of reflections going on, but it creates great light. It just makes the glasses have a little bit of reflection in them. So we had our first big snow. The girls were home from school for snow day. Unfortunately, I had to work all day, and so I was at the hospital and did not have a chance to put any snow day stitching in, but we had a previous snow day, so I got, or snowy day, so I got a little bit of stitching in that day. But yesterday was not ideal sit and stitch all day and watch the snowfall for me, which was a total bummer because that's my like bread and butter right there. I love the excuse to kind of rot on the couch and get a bunch of stitches put into a project, especially my snow day project. But my snow day project did get progress, so I will show that to you later when we talk through the whips. But first, I would like to talk to you about how I closed out November. So now we must be at like 4 videos ago. I looked through my whip list and found that there were projects that I hadn't touched yet this year. And that was one of my goals that I set last year on my whip parade, that I wanted to touch all of my projects. That is one of my favorite parts of doing a whip parade, is that you pull out all of your projects and you go, oh my gosh, I love this so much. Oh my gosh, I really want to stitch on this again. And then sometimes we don't get to them. And so I really wanted to make that my goal. One of my goals last year was to touch all of my projects. Well, early October, I realized there were still 15 projects that I hadn't touched yet this year, and that was about half of my whips, and that was unacceptable to me, but also an attainable goal to get to. Like some of the stuff that I said I would finish, unless I sat down and monogamously stitched on those, I probably wouldn't get all the way to the finish line on more than one, I don't think. And so an attainable goal for me was to break the last 15 projects I had not touched up into 5 projects a month and stitch on those for the rest of the year. And I made some good progress. I finished that Bent Creek cat. It was one of the ones that I wanted to get to and got to, and ended up making my car stitch, and so I got some work done on that. And then I made Turkey Bay into another one of my car stitches, and so I got on that one. My cats are running around. This is a new theme for my video. Hopefully we'll get some cat video into the end of this one. I know they were such a tease in the last video. I thought I was gonna get my little Ash girly up here to show off for you, but they are not interested. They do have a new perch that's right here next to where I film, and so if they do decide to hop up, perhaps I can turn the camera and give you a cute little glimpse of them in their perch. They do wrestle for that top spot, and also because they're siblings, sometimes they snuggle in that top spot, but it's usually wrestling. All right, so let's talk about those whips. I did put in a few more stitches to Turkey Bay since I last showed it to you. So this is Turkey Bay. It is from Plum Street Samplers, and that's where it's at. I am stitching this on Tombstone from Color and Cotton. It was a special fabric available in a stitchy box that she did on 1 October. I do not know if she made this a regular part of her fabric line or not, but I got a little bit more of that boat done. We still got the turkey sitting down there, but I've worked my way up a little bit higher on that boat, and this is going away now. I won't have any more progress on this to show you. You will see it again in the whip parade, but for now, this is where Turkey Bay lays. And I am stitching this with not called for flosses. I did have some of the called for, but I am stitching it from stash. And so a lot of it, I did substitute Color and Cotton. So this has been a pretty good Color and Cotton conversion project for me. All right, and then I worked on this one next. Barbara Anna Designs, All Creatures Great and Small. This is one of my big giant projects that I have, big awesome projects. It is, there we go. It's a big one. And while I was trying to stitch on this and get progress on it, I was getting really frustrated. I think I need to change my needle size that I'm using on it. I was just having a hard time not seeing, because it's 40 count and but the holes, I don't know, I was losing flosses and lines and stuff, but I got a couple motifs done. So I added in, this is fox or bird. I don't know what this is. Maybe a little roadrunner. I added in this squirrel right here, this little tree, this bird right here, this rooster, the key. I started on this flower, and then I filled in some of the either pine cones or flower buds that are on there. So I didn't get down to the bottom, which I really wanted to get to that corner, but I was feeling a lot of frustration with this project, and I just kind of needed to move on from it. I got some stitches into it, I touched it, it met that goal, and that was really all I wanted to do. So this is probably maybe a summer project where I can see a little bit more clearly, and things are a little bit brighter in the house. But for now, it got its touches, and it's off the I didn't touch it list. All right, and then next I worked on Be Thankful from Country Cottage Needleworks. And I've talked about this a couple times, but I'm going to remove these swirly-doos and not stitch those. I'll stitch the little lines with the leaves on them. And my goal was to get another pumpkin done, and I did that. So this is on, I think it's 40 count espresso, but it is really tight, and those X's are really small. But they're looking good. This was also a hard to see project. I had a couple days of really like tough to see. That's a little more accurate on the color. So I added in this tall pumpkin right here, and I am happy with that progress. This has been in my whip pile for quite a long time, and I was really worried that it was just something that I was gonna abandon. But I think it will stay around. I don't see myself UFOing that one after getting that pumpkin worked on. I was able to work on it in the car. It was just a lot of really small stitching, and once we got past Thanksgiving, I was like, okay, I'm done. So I stitched on that the week of Thanksgiving and got some progress on it. And yeah, so that leaves us with only 5 more. I hit all of my November pieces, so that leaves us with technically 5 more pieces to get to for the rest of the year. It's technically only 4 now, because we're a couple days into December, and I did pull one out, which we'll talk about when we kind of get down more into the plans, because I've got some more whips to show you, a few more things that I worked through. So, full coverage. There's a fly in our house. Cats. Okay. This is like it's been a while since we've had cats. It had been probably almost 5 years since we've had cats, and so everything is brand new again, and it's lovely and fun, but it's a little bit louder than I always expect it to be. All right, sorry, I keep glancing over here. I actually made some pretty extensive notes for today to make sure that I didn't miss anything, because like I said, the stitchy bug is here, and I have been embracing it and enjoying my time. I've been trying to have a lot more like analog time in my life, and so stitching's a great way to distract myself, my hands from my phone, and just really embrace kind of the calm that can exist in our house until, you know, the cats start running in circles around everything with their yaws. All right, so I worked on 3 of my 4 full coverage projects. I hit a pretty good milestone on one of them, and I've got a little bit of plans for another one. Please don't knock over my coffee. Okay. All right, so the first one I worked on was where I got my milestone. I worked on What Lies Beneath by David Lozeau. I'll put a picture of what that will look like finished here. It is a tall and skinny piece. It has a total of 119,400 stitches in it. I hit 5,007 stitches. So that puts me at 4.19%. Since the last time you saw it, I added 2,084 stitches. So here's where this is at. And I really have worked my way up. Come on, you were doing good with the color. Those blues that are in there, I mean, it's so many different colors of blue and like teal, and it is so pretty. It's so much fun to stitch on. There's like the right amount of blockiness in there. And while like the blue could seem like very monotonous, I actually am really enjoying it. So I'm getting closer to the anchor, which I'm really excited about seeing. And yeah, so I'm getting closer to the anchor. The width of the project is like, I think this is like the halfway mark. So I might just need to adjust my Q-snap a little bit, and then I can kind of just keep stitching in here and moving the Q-snap up as I go. So I'm really happy with that. I really would love to get a better color view of this for you, but I think with the brightness we're experiencing right now with the excuse me, with the reflection on the snow, it's just not as ideal as I would love for it to be for you. But this is where it's at. I plan to keep putting stitches in this and keep updating you on it as I feel like it. I have talked about it before, but I don't really like being told what to stitch, and so I just kind of come home and I look at the projects that I have loaded up and pick one to work on. So the fact that I did just hit a pretty big milestone with those 5,000 stitches, I think this one might get left a little bit to the wayside for a moment while I try to hit a milestone on some of the others before we get to the new year, and I will talk to you about one of them in just a moment. But yeah, so this one, it'll probably see some stitches in the next 2 weeks just because it is easy to stitch on with how few colors it is. But I'm really happy with the progress that I've made on it and seeing the design start to come to life. All right, next I worked on Cauldron of Mer from Ivy Dolamore. I'll put a picture of what that looks like finished here. Oh, What Lies Beneath was charted by Unconventional X Stitch. I think this fly is going to cause some problems. I don't know if you can hear that, but we've got some propagation stations in our window and they are glass. Anyways, all right, well, if you hear something break and I start swearing, then that's where we're at. So this is Cauldron of Mer from Ivy Dolamore. It's also charted by Unconventional X Stitch. Unfortunately, it is now retired. Ivy Dolamore's art was retired from Unconventional X Stitch, I think, at the end of November. So you can no longer get this. I don't know if anybody else is going to be picking up Ivy Dolamore or if she's recharting, but since you've last seen this, I added 1,558 stitches to it. So that is where this is at. This is the bottom right corner. It is at 4,344 stitches out of 156,600, which is 2.77%. My goal for this is definitely to get over that 5,000 mark, and I don't know that that would put me over the 3%, so I probably will work on till this gets over the 3% at the very least. I would love to have all of my full coverages above the 5% mark before I get to the new year. So depending on this last one that I show you and what it takes to get to that, that might end up being the next goal. But I also, again, have 5 December projects to work on. So we'll see how much stitching I get to do in December. Like yesterday, I had to work, but my husband was home with the girls because they had an official snow day. And I don't know that I would have gotten anything done. They were like, after 5 days off, a 5-day weekend from Thanksgiving, they went to school for 1 day and then we're back home for a snow day. It was just a little bit on the chaotic side of life, and so it's a lot of at-home time. I mean, we had play dates last weekend and they had friends, and there were 4 very loud girls upstairs in this house, like between 8 and 10, like 8 and 10-year-old girls. That's a loud moment. And that was like, it was too cold to have them outside. I mean, they went out and played, but then it started raining, so they were back in. I'm not going to make kids stay out in the rain, just so we can have a quiet house. The sound of kids is a happy sound, but it also can be overwhelming after a while, and you know, there's constant asks of what we can do and can we have snacks, because I don't know how they make it through their school day without eating constantly, but when they are home, there's a lot of food that we go through. All right, my next full coverage piece that I worked on was Tiki Beach Sunset. Now, I only put 208 stitches into this since the last time you saw it, but I want to talk about it because I'm getting close to the 50,000 mark on this. So I worked on finishing some more of that purple. So I brought that purple color that I was working on the last time all the way up to where it needed to be. So this piece is now at 46,143 stitches out of 362,408 stitches. That is 12.73%. I would like to hit the 50,000 mark before the end of this year. So that's only 3,857 stitches that I need to get to. So I feel like that's doable. There are some little pockets of not super confetti heavy in this. And I am sort of also hoping that those almost 4,000 stitches will get me a page finish. I think the page ends like right around here and then comes down to like right here. So I'm getting actually fairly close on that page finish, and that would be really great. I think I've finished, I think I have 3 full pages of this finished. No, 4 full pages of this finished? 3. I don't know. 1. I think I have 4 full page finishes on this, so getting a 5th one would be pretty awesome. And then this kind of like starts going down into the middle, so I feel like it will really open up a lot of different directions to work in and a lot of different spots that like I can make progress into. So that's like not even, it's like a little over 100 stitches a day. I can do that. I'm gonna need to do that starting next year with the HAED sale. So I tend to not just put like 100 stitches into a project. I am like, a low day on a full coverage piece is usually that 208 was pretty low for a full coverage day for me. I try to be around the 500 mark and get some progress in there. I have been, again, making some life changes and putting myself to bed at a normal bedtime without electronics, and so I've found that I am sleeping better. And there's been a couple mornings where I've been up and at 'em at like 5 a.m. just on my own, and have been ready to sit down and stitch. I've come up with a couple of really fun ideas for the beginning of the year, for videos here, and I'm pumped on stitching, and I'm pumped on how I feel, making sure I drink water before coffee, that kind of stuff. Just, you know, doing little things to improve life and to get more stitching done. So yeah, I think it's been very beneficial for me, and it gives me more stuff to show you. And then hopefully I can get some finishes done, which we're going to talk about probably in my plans video. That should be coming next week. I really just want to get the jingle ball under me and move towards that. I've got a couple more whips to show you and my new start. And then we can go over the December plans and what those projects are and what I've already you know, stuck my needle in. So it snowed. My snow day project is Shores of Hawkhorn Hollow from Carriage House Samplings. Here's the nice big picture on the back. I'm working in this block right here. This year so far, as this being my snow project, I completed this block. I didn't have very much left. I fully started and completed this block, and I'm getting close to the halfway point on this one. And here is where this is at. So I started, since I picked this up, I added a little bit of thickness to this top of the water, and then added these 2 bird baths and started on the tree in the middle. So I think this is good progress. So a snow day project for me, I had a comment on my Instagram from accounting my stitches, and she was like, oh, I see how you feel about snow if you're stitching like a ocean piece. I actually like the winter time. I love that the snow and the weather changes really make us slow down a little bit. And that there's plenty of stitching time in the winter. This is the only thing that I allow to be told what to stitch, and the snow tells me to stitch it. The reason that I picked this as my snow day project is that it is my 2nd oldest whip, and I do want it finished. We live coastally, and I love the ocean and the sea. I am a Pisces through and through, and I am a water sign and just a beach girl. So this, I would love to have this on my wall. So it is again going to be that I can tell you for my plans. This is going to be my snow day stitch for next year as well, so that I can keep getting some progress on it. I, again, not good at like a day of the week stitching. I know that there's like a Friday, I think it's a Friday, like Hakra and Hollow group. I'm just, day of the week, if I haven't, I don't want to like miss it and then like not stitch on it and then it like end up kind of languishing. So this will remain my snow day piece. If we don't have a snowy winter, it will turn into a precipitation piece, and I will work on it when it rains as well, just because I do want to make progress on it. I feel like I've made great progress so far this year. Again, this would be another one where I would love to hit a milestone and finish this block before the end of December. But again, this is putting a lot of stitching on myself. There's a big giant house right here, so I don't know whether that will happen or not. I guess it really just depends on how many stitching days I get and what kind of stitching days I get, how quality they are, how, you know, football does definitely allow me to kind of have the excuse of getting something slow cooked, either in the oven or on the stove, and then being really able to put a lot of stitches in and, you know, get stuff done. But there's also like a lot of activities going on. We have Jingle Ball this weekend, which I will get stitching in for, but there's also like a local community event that the girls would like to go to, so I'll be missing out on a little bit of the Jingle Ball to attend that with them. Again, December, I feel like it's really, you know, a crapshoot on how much time you'll get. It can get really chaotic, but it can also be very cozy and very quiet, and so we shall see what December decides to bring us. Again, my only real true hard and fast goal is to get those 4 projects touched for December, so that I will have reached my goals for that and have touched every single one of my projects, so that when we do a rope parade on January 1st, I will be able to have made progress on absolutely everything. And I can't even tell you how good that is going to make me feel. It is okay if that is not your thing. This is not a comparison thing. I just really would be proud of myself if I got to that point and this goal that I've made for myself. With that, let's talk about my new start, because that's another thing that I need to finish, and fairly soon, actually. I started Nevermore from Satsuma Street. This is going to be for my littlest sister. It is a Halloween ornament technically, but she's a Halloween 365 kind of gal. So I've been working on this and just using the kit stuff. Here's where I'm at. So I've made some great progress on that. This is my new car stitch. When I'm not reading, I brought my book with me last time because I was at a good spot and didn't want to put down. I'm reading Alchemized. It originally was published as a fanfic. If you know, you know. And it has been reimagined to, you know, de-identify that fandom, so that it could be published. It is a thick book. I think it's like 1,024 pages, and I am about a third of the way in. It's good. Again, I've read the story that it was based off of already, so I don't know if that helps or hurts the cause in reading the book. I'm enjoying it. I do like the story. I have obviously been making comparisons in my mind to it, but I knew that going in, and I really chose to read this book because of that. I thought that was really fun. Anyways, random bookie tangent. So I need to bring that as car stitching and not bring my book. Definitely that book has distracted me a little bit from my stitchy stuff, but again, there's a lot of motivation in stitching right now. I'm feeling really positive about Flosstube and my stitching goals, and so I'm here to have fun and here to get stitching done. Not trying to put a ton of pressure on myself, but I feel like that always happens. But again, these five stitching projects that I need to hit before the end of the year, these are the ultimates. So the assigned untouched projects for this month are a peacock, a unicorn, a badger, my Christmas list, Christmas rules, new shoots, and the sampler book. Now, yesterday or the day before, Abby Stitch on Instagram, and she has made Flosstube videos in the past. It's been a while, and I think she's been like fairly monogamous in her stitching this year. Finished this. I think we started it at the same time, which when you see mine, it's gonna be really sad. But because she was posting it and finished it, I put mine into the Q-Snap and I was like, perfect, this is a goal project for this month. Let's get some stitches in. So this is a peacock, a unicorn, a badger. It is charted by the Scarlet Letter. And I am stitching it on a, I think 25 count lugana. And here's where it's at. Oh, it was like really nice, bright, and then it went away. All right, so I filled in the bottom of this flower. I filled in some of the bottom of this bird, and I will keep going. This is obviously the first project that I'm working on in my 5 new projects, or my 5 projects for this month. And it is really beautiful. The colors in this are so much prettier than they look in the picture. And I know, I feel like we all say that a lot. But gosh, this one's really great. And I am really enjoying it. Once you get some of like the outlines done, it is like a lot of block stitching and fill in. The chart's very easy to read. It is definitely a paper chart. It's a booklet. It's pretty thick, but you get a lot of detail. The charts are really large. And so I find that it's not terrible stitching. Although I will say, like, this is like, so there's some pages that have 2 rows on it, or 2 columns. Like, I feel like you could have stretched it a little bit more. There is no overlap, so maybe not, but I don't know. I feel like it's so silly to me. It's gonna be so interesting. It is definitely, I mean, it's the border, but some of the border, like the line inside the border has some oh wait, there are overlaps. Man, I think they should have just removed an overlap, because is everything on the next page just an overlap? I don't know. I feel like these might just be overlap, which is weird. Let's see. It is. So they put, like, you don't need, I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Welcome to my brain. Alrighty. Then I already preloaded for the Jingle Ball. I'm gonna work on my more Christmassy projects that are assigned in this month. So I loaded up my Christmas list. This is by Silver Creek Samplers. And this is being stitched on 36 count Wren, I believe. And I have the first like 3 little wordy things done. So we're on to Christmas Blessing. Here is what it looks like in my Q-Snap. So it's just about the width of the Q-Snap. Might be a little bit difficult when I get into like these parts, but I think I don't think I'll have to move it around too much. So I'm planning on working my way down during that, during some Jingle Ball festivities. And then my other Jingle Ball project that I'm gonna work on is Christmas Rules by Lizzie Kate. This is another tall skinny one. It will look like that when it is finished. And this one I just have a small start on. I just have the word Christmas. So this one needs quite a bit of work. And I'm working on just the free border that she included on her website so that you can put all of the little cards together. And then each of these little cards includes like 2 of the little like rules on them. So I will be doing that. And then for the end of the month, I think, especially if we start having a lot of snow, was the reason that I assigned this one, is New Shoots by Emma Congdon. And I always do this at this point in the video. I lose my board. Okay, this is from a magazine, although I'm sure you can get it on her website now. Emma Congdon is also Stitch Rovia. And it just has all the spring bulbs and like when they come up and how tall they are and how deep their bulbs go. So there's like a depth and a height. It does have a lot of back stitching. I have a decent amount done, I guess. I have not worked on this in a really long time, I feel like. And so it's really important to me to get this one out and at least get some progress on it. But here's where that is at. So I have 2 of the pink flowers done. The hyacinth and the hybrid tulip. It's on like a nice little minty green. So I feel like this will be a great project for when I'm feeling the winter blues, which do happen, although I feel like I don't really feel too many winter blues until I start to get into like, it's gonna sound weird because it's not winter, but like April and May are hard here because it's still very cold sometimes and you're just really waiting for that green to start emerging. And so, but again, before the end of the year, I need to put a couple stitches in that. Even if it's on New Year's Eve, I am going to do it. And then the last project that I need to work on is the sampler book. This is from Erica Michaels. So the deal with this is that you buy the pattern, but the pattern only includes the cover and then instructions on how to put it together. All of the other charts are available for free on Erica Michaels' website. I think it's on her website now. It used to be on Rainbow Gallery, but I think it's on her website now. So I have a for Algerian Eyelet complete, and I just pulled from Stash. So I would like to finish the next one, which is B for Butterfly Stitch, I believe. Let's see. Yep, B is for Butterfly Stitch. And so that will actually go on another portion of this because part of the way that you put the book together is that you just like fold your pages and then stitch them together. So it'll go on the other side of here. And this is, I think it's called Woodland. It is from Fiber. Gosh, I never remember her name. Why do I do that? It's in the description down below. It has all of the fabrics that I'm using for everything, the counts, who they're dyed by, and a lot of times if I'm stitching with like a conversion, that will be listed below also. All right. So goals for the month, even though I will be back in actually I'll probably be back in 1 week with plans, and then because it's what do you call it? Vlogmas, Flossmas. There are so many videos on right now, and I'm so sorry that this went as long as it did, because I feel like it's a slog to get through everything right now and watch everything that you want to watch and still have time to do other life things. I've had like earbuds in like while I'm cooking, just so I can listen to some of my favorite floss tubers do their videos. So this weekend is Jingle Ball. I'm super excited. Goals for this month are to get through my 5 projects, to finish and fully finish Nevermore, and to get to that 50,000 stitch mark on Tiki Beach Sunset. That's going to be priority number 1 full coverage wise, and then the other projects, we'll see what milestones I want to set myself to get to, maybe in 2 weeks. Let's see. I do my whip parade on January 1st. I did my very first one on my birthday when I came back to Flosstube, but now I do them on January 1st so that I get a true like year to year comparison of where I was. It is like exactly what I've done from the previous year to this year. So, and I'm getting closer to that 2,000 subscribers mark. I know that the numbers are just the numbers, but it's, again, these milestones, that one feels good. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, and you have not subscribed yet, I would really appreciate your subscription. I love the likes, I love the comments. Thank you so much. Last video, I let you know about how much I loved interacting with everybody, and I really got some genuinely kind comments, and I really appreciated hearing from all of you and what you were stitching on while you were watching my video. Please, let's continue the conversation. Again, trying to remove the like one-sidedness from the Flosstube, where like you feel like you know me, but do I feel like I know you? I would like to know you. So let's do that. And yeah, I hope if you're going to Jingle Ball that I see you there, and that you have a lovely couple of weeks stitching, and I will see you soon with some plans and a whip parade and a couple other fun ideas I have going on in my set inside my head. And wish me luck in getting to my goal of touching all 5 of those projects. Well, I guess 4 now, because I technically have already touched a peacock, a unicorn, a badger, and I will try to get some kitty videos in here for you, but they did not visit today. They are not in the show-off stage of their time yet, but I'm sure we will get there. Happy stitching, everybody. I hope you have the best weeks available to you, and I will see you soon. Bye.